Today, the crypto markets took a sharp spike to the downside, and a lot of traders are incorrectly correlating this to the FOMC data, when in fact, Gary Gensler, head of the SEC, had a hearing this morning with Congress where he delayed the Ethereum ETF till September at the earliest day. Of course, Ethereum had a sharp pullback from this. We're going to examine the total 3 chart, Ethereum, Solana, and of course, Kaspa, to realize where the direction of the market is headed and how low a potential pullback could actually go. Being so close to the FOMC meeting, there's still a statistical probability that this is merely a fake out and the market could quickly recover and start moving to the upside. The farther down the calendar we go, the less likely this scenario is to happen. Right now, there are some amazing altcoin projects in the discount bin, and we'll take a look at a few of those after examining the charts. Here's a clip showing a congressman absolutely grilling Gary Gensler about writing checks to litigate for protection of the American people against the progress of cryptocurrency.
I want to take, for example, the years-long process that it took to approve Bitcoin's ETF. And that only happened recently. And it happened in the wake of a court finding that your grounds for disapproval was warrantless. And I'm just very puzzled that in light of the most recent court ruling, why we haven't fully approved the issuance of Ether ETFs. Chairman Benham, I'm going to turn to you. Is Ether a commodity? A yes or no answer will do.
Yes.
Chairman Gensler, same question. Is Ether a commodity?
Senator, we actually, as an agency, did approve Ethereum exchange traded
Only
products.
partially. It's not. The approval is not complete.
In fact, it's this meeting with Gary Gensler delaying the Ethereum ETF till the earliest of this September that caused Ethereum to spearhead the sharp market pullback today. Now, before we break down all these charts, I need to show you a historic event of comparing Kaspa to the total 3 combined altcoin market cap. This goes all the way back to June 5th of 2023. Notice this up spike in Kaspa all the way till the 16th of June. When we take a look at the total 3 market cap from June 5th to the 16th, it was a massive down step for all of altcoins. And this was all based around an FOMC meeting. These are very pivotal moments all across the chart on any cryptocurrency for this market cycle. The previous bull top, the FOMC had basically nothing to do with the chart. The reason being because the money printers were on full blast, like tripling the supply of US dollars to some exorbitant amount. Thus, traders weren't paying any attention to that. They didn't realize how much of an impact it has. Now, with guys who are experienced from the stock market, 10% in the stock market is like, oh, I wrecked it this year. I got 10%. Yeah, 10% in crypto is like 15 minutes. But knowing how to get these succulent resources and these extra catalysts that help move the charts, these are coming over from the stock market and being adapted to cryptocurrency. Speaking of this, all of technical analysis was fundamentally based on stock market charts. Bringing it over to cryptocurrency, we have an entirely new phenomenon known as X and Y axis charting. This is these repeating trend lines, like on Kaspa, that repeating X axis keeps happening over and over again, and you're repeating Y axis supports, and we can see this across the board. It's not just an anomaly on Kaspa or Bitcoin, it's on every crypto with a strict halving and a mission schedule. And we're going to see this starting with the total 3. Zooming out, notice this support line right here, because this is actually going to come into play with the here and now. These dotted lines, these are our y-axis support lines. Notice this gigantic falling wedge. This is very bullish for altcoins. And of course, it's been breaking to the upside. But zooming into a briefer time window, we can see a rising wedge has been happening all the way back since the 13th of April. This is just recently broke to the downside. Statistically, A rising wedge will retrace in price 30 to 50%. And the next clear visible support on the total 3 chart is coming from that exact trend line that caught the candle back on June 16th. And that will bring the altcoin market cap down to 575 billion. Today it's at 620 billion. So that's a $45 billion reduction. Should this downtrend continue, and it appears like it's going to do so, keep in mind, like we just showed on Kaspa, Kaspa might not be affected by this. Not only can it hold its market cap, since it will be such a strong standard during this potential bearish downside, Kaspa can start to trigger another breakout while the market is red. It's happened historically. Taking a look at the Ethereum chart, again, we can see our X and Y axis lines. These have been set up for 365 days. In no way is this chart custom tailored for this read. And just recently, we can see how Ethereum lost its support on this blue Y axis. Its next clear level of support is at the bottom of the gray zone. Bring it down to 3,300. Jumping over to Solana, we can see an extremely bearish chart. Recently, Solana lost support off its blue Y axis, and the next clear level of support is an apex between the bottom of the gray Y axis and its X-axis repeating trend line. This apex is very strong, almost magnetic to price candles, making the next clear support for Solana around $115. Massive potential downside there, as well as on the ICP chart, the 24th largest market cap, one notch ahead of Kaspa as we speak. We can see a huge upside down cup. This is a rounded top formation. Very bearish. The future for ICP looks like downside is coming without a doubt. Finally, for the coup d'etat, the Kaspa price right now. Keep in mind the example that we showed in the beginning of this video. The altcoin market cap was crashing down. Meanwhile, Kaspa stood as a standard of strength, rocketing to the upside. That was exactly 365 days ago with the exact matching catalyst. It was an FOMC meeting. So right now, even though all these altcoin charts are leaning bearish, Kaspa, as we can clearly see, looks like it's going to be able to hold 16 cents at least until July 5th. And that time frame should be enough to weather the majority of this downside storm. This is how we get these dates from the chart. As Kaspa's stuck on this X-axis resistance trend line, again, it's the exact same trend line that holds it back time and time again. And it intersects on an apex with our Y-axis support line. We can see this all the way from the bottom of the cup last summer. And when we clone that line, look, it actually matches with the top of all 3 of these peaks, as well as correlates all over the chart in many different ways, including this apex on July 5th at exactly 15.7 cents, showing us Kaspa's potential to hold the 16-cent mark until that date at least. So Kaspa not looking as bearish as the rest of the altcoin charts we reviewed in this video.